JB Waffle Hour. JB Waffle Hour. JB Waffle Hour. JB Waffle Hour. JB Waffle Hour.
What a song. I love it. I love that song.
There it is. There it is.
It'd be weird if you didn't say it.
I'd feel weird if I didn't say it.
It's kind of our thing.
It's like saying it's like saying to it's like going to sleep without like turning it over and saying love you, good night, you know.
To yourself.
To your
To myself.
phone.
I love you, John.
To my bunny.
How many times do you set your alarm?
What do you mean?
3.
Yeah.
With snoozes on them as well.
No, well, I
So
don't mean
technically
that.
it's
Like,
about 20.
so I will actually set my alarm and
Yeah.
I'll say like, 6 hours, 52 minutes. And then I'll do it 3 more times just to make sure it's set.
Yeah.
Oh, to go back and check it that it's set?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so I'm not the only one.
A busy boy, though. You didn't say your little thing that you normally say.
Oh, well, we haven't started the intro yet. I thought we were throwing that all out the window and we're just going straight into it. That's what you said.
Oh, yeah. Oh, so I can't ask you about your weekends, even.
Oh, well, what are we doing? Will we quickly do it?
Yeah, go on.
Okay.
Go on. Do your thing.
Okay.
Let's not go completely off the rails.
Hello, everybody. It's episode 69.
Yes.
Giggity.
And we all know what 69 means.
Mature lads, come on. We can
It's
do this.
6 looking in the
It's-
mirror.
1 before 70.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. I love it. I suppose that's why with the... Oh, never mind. I hope you all enjoyed episode number 68. Listen, this is going... like It's a bad run of names, really, is it? Nipple tips from last week. We were talking about mixing up Fix and Vapor Rub. You don't want to be at that.
Poor Kingsley.
Or Fix and Vapor Rub,
That
same.
poor chap.
Fix and Vaseline.
That poor
There you go.
chap had to ring his mom and say, Mom, I'm on a podcast.
Finally, ma'am, I'm on a podcast. Can you send me the link? Oh, God.
Yes, we chatted to our new friend
called
from North
nipple
Carolina, Kingsley, about the path to
Sorry,
discovering GA in the Americas and his great insight into sport in America. And always
Good
make
dude.
sure to rate, like, share, subscribe, follow us, be our friends, come love us. We need the love. And wherever
be so desperate.
wherever you see the owl podcast, make sure you comment and stuff and send us DMs and the likes.
Like and subscribe and all
Yeah.
that jazz.
Yes.
All that jazz. We need
Share.
that. Yeah. We're on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, and the YouTubes.
OnlyFans.
And OnlyFans, of course, yes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go right to left today, from the right-hand side of the table to the left.
Okay.
And we're going to ask how everyone's weekend was. How was your weekend, John?
It was good. As usual, I do DIY stuff at the weekend, basically. Just
You're always at that, aren't you?
well, you know, we'll be doing it for the next 10 years at
He
least
grew-
to be in a house.
he
like.
grew
What
his-
type of house do you live in? Is it like a shit shed or
Oh,
something?
the fucking state of the house. I'm not messing. No, I hope he's listening. The lad that was before me in that house, I'd say he had a vice grips and a nail. And he just did the whole house with them 2 things. Because the skirting boards, I'd say, he threw them on. Basically, he stood back and
Just threw them at the wall.
threw them on with both hands, went, that'll do, and walked off to got his sandwich.
Do you have an issue with putting the skirting boards on the walls?
As in, like, a fear.
No. When I was young, I was touched by a skirting board. No, by actually keeping them on the wall.
No, because
Alright,
they're
okay.
touching the ground. See, that the gift is you put them resting on the ground and then go around the corners. If you put them up fairly high, they'll drop down immediately.
Right.
Hmm.
Having an issue with keeping them...
How high do you put your skirting board up?
that's a dado rail you're talking about.
Yeah, no, it was a joke that just went over your
Yeah,
head.
All right.
he grew his fringe.
Like your dado rail.
You see that?
Oh yeah.
He's getting a bit emo now. He's
Hang
going
on.
to start flicking it.
Yeah.
I'm just so into my art right now, Mom.
Yeah. I told you not to come into my room like that.
I'm putting up my dado rail.
I'm cleaning my room to Hoover. I swear.
Bertie, you were in the country this weekend, weren't you? That was
I was.
last weekend. You were away.
Yeah.
What were you up to this weekend?
Vaccinate me sheep.
Oh, with
Yeah.
the
With
Did
the
any
at
of
the
them
back.
refuse?
No.
It's a serious
that's
question.
hilarious.
No, just above their shoulder blade.
No
just
anti-vax sheep, no.
inject them. No.
No.
You didn't give them a choice.
We still have that adopted sheep that broke in and the farmer never came back from. So,
Right.
Yeah, so we said we better vaccinate that sheep as well.
Absolutely.
So you vaccinated someone else's child.
Yeah, pretty much. That's what
Terrible.
the opposite of Melissa McCarthy.
It's been there since November and he hasn't come back for it, so I don't know.
All right. Squatter's rights.
Janie, what if he comes back and he's like, I wanted to eat that sheep now? You just have to fatten it up from for free.
Yeah, he can take the sheep, all right. I'd prefer if he waited until it lambed because it broke out and had relations with our ram.
Right?
So she's probably up to fluff.
She's
But-
got the green stuff in her face, just like you.
Yeah. But she's mistimed now because our ones are coming the 28th of March to the 1st of April.
Right.
And she's probably not going to lamb until like July now because she broke out in like January.
Someone we know is lambing today as well.
Oh, who's lambing?
You know who's lambing today?
Who's lambing?
A friend of ours is actually lambing today. Well, we could probably announce it on next week's podcast, but there's a friend lambing today.
Oh,
Yeah, we'll come back to that, will we?
okay, we can do. You
I'm intrigued.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
a human lamb on the way.
Oh, wow.
But I mean, we could probably announce that next week.
Okay.
You look at it confused and you're like, who do I know who is pregnant?
Who else has sheep?
Yeah,
in
that's
our
what I'm
group?
thinking.
All you see is sheep. He's going to fall asleep now in a second.
We have the guys on from Croatia Celts this week, so we want to introduce them. Oh, well, you can introduce yourselves if you want. Whoever wants to go first.
You go for it, Patrick.
I was going to say
Patrick.
age before beauty, but yeah, I'm I'm Patrick, and I am the coach of the Croatian Celts. I've been a member of the club for about 3 years now. So
Okay,
Yeah.
Ed. So you can hear that I'm not Irish by my accent. I've been in the Croatian Celts for about 4 years, I think. I think between us, we're two of the longest standing members by now. It's, but
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. That was 2019. I think it was set up, was it? It was 2019.
That's what it says on the badge. Yeah.
That's the official. So there was an unofficial club before that, was it?
I mean, look, we had the whole Corona thing, and yeah, it was there was like a bit of stop and start at the beginning, but I think that's quite normal for clubs in this area, from what we've been hearing recently.
And what are your local rivals? Is there like another parish in Zagreb, or are you going like where you went to play at the weekend in Budapest and all over the place? Like,
we're the national team. We are the de facto Croatian national team. We have no other clubs in the country, so I think Budapest. Yeah. After you, Ed. After you.
Sorry. No, I was just trying to outdo you with that. You were saying we're like the national team. We're in fact the regional team. We are the one and only team in Southeast Europe, even. So the places nearby where you would think like, I don't know, Bosnia, Serbia, Slovenia, absolutely nothing. So we're very much the regional team, and it's looking more north towards like you said, the places like Hungary and Austria and whatever, these Central European places more.
and you said you're two of the founding members, is it? So what was it like when like the GA was made in a pub down in Thurles? Was it like a pub in Croatia with 5 lads who had a dream?
It was before my time, before I got here to Zagreb. But the myth, the legend is that it was the husband of the Irish ambassador who was here in Zagreb, and who really wanted to found a GAA club. And I mean, compared to a lot of other cities in Europe, as we find when we go and play, the Irish community in Zagreb is very small. I mean, it can all fit into one pub basically. So it was just a group of lads, and I think they really wanted to found a club. And Ed has something to contribute here, I think, to the story. But
Do I? No. I mean,
I thought you were putting your hands up.
No. Sorry. It was just,
There was obviously enough guys to like make a full team, was there, or did you have to get some locals in?
not at all. Not enough at all. I mean, it's like
How would you explain to the locals? Here's a ball, and
You can catch it.
we play. This is a game we played. You know soccer? Well, just you could pick it up this time. Or
you
what
have.
was
I mean, with our recruitment, we're still at that stage where we're very much kind of like people we know, and we're having trouble kind of going beyond that sort of circle of acquaintances and getting the word out more. I mean, like, you guys know from just watching, say, the World Cup and I don't know, tennis or whatever, Croatia is like a super sporting country, especially relative to its size. It's 4 million people living there? But it seems that, I mean, our trouble is that a lot of people who are really into sport are doing their sport. They're doing their football, they're doing their tennis, their water polo or whatever that they like, handball or whatever. And it's tricky to get the runoffs. It's not a sport which is I mean, most people haven't heard about it. You have to really kind of explain it to them. You have to say, okay, so it's a bit like football, it's a bit like handball, it's a bit like rugby.
Bit of
I think we
basketball.
get that thing with like, oh, it seems really dangerous. I bet it's really physical. And like, no, it's not really. It's fine. But no, recruitment is definitely it's a challenge. I think that's one of probably our main challenge, Patrick. Or
Yeah, but like I was saying, I mean, we've been to tournaments, we play against games, and most of the clubs we play against, all the lads are Irish, right? I mean, or they maybe have one token local, but for us, we are majority. I mean, we're sort of, we have what, Croatian, Australian, German, English. We're mostly people who didn't grow up playing the game, so. That's the thing I think I'm, as a coach, I'd say I'm most proud of is introducing new people to the sport. That to me is great, right? You're in a different country, a new city, people have never heard of GAA before, and to be able to get these Croatians, coming along when they're in their 20s, their 30s to start playing the game. That for me it's really cool. It's something that you don't see maybe back in Ireland that you see here.
So it was very much like a social thing where it's just a good way to get out of the house and do something different to the norm rather than your regular rugby or soccer or something like that. Is it like just a good way to get out of the house?
I think everyone's got their own little story about what it is that does it. Like, I mean, I don't want to sort of cast shade upon us, but it's an eclectic group of people, to say the least. Like, I think everyone's got their own. I mean, I did it because I used to do like individual sport. I still do. Like I like running and I like cycling or whatever. But I was like, well, I'd like to try a team sport, and this was like something completely different. I saw somebody posting about it on one of the expat groups on Facebook, and I was like, well, I'll go along and try it out. And I suppose you get into it.
And Ed, did you see it before when living at home or that, or were you had only come across it when you were in Croatia?
I mean, I knew of it. Like I can remember, like when I was young, we had Transworld Sport, that Channel 4 Saturday mornings. It was like, I don't know, Mongolian wrestling and all these like weird sports. And I remember like GAA was definitely on there. But I mean, did I know anything about it? Not really. No. I mean, honestly, it would be like, okay, they similar to like rugby goalposts, but that would be net really. I wouldn't have known the rules or anything like that, to be honest.
And what is your membership at currently like? I mean, for like playing members or whichever, or do you do like ones that are like kind of social membership that are involved in the club but actually don't play, or does everybody play that switches?
The playing membership is, I would say, on a good day hovering around the 15 mark. So, but our training sessions range from between 3 and what's our maximum? Maybe 11, 12, maybe.
We've had 11 or 12 a few times.
Well, it makes you feel better. There's clubs in Ireland who have that many a training too in January. So.
See, we have the problem here that in January it's too cold for everyone, and then it gets to about April or May and it's too hot. We have a very small window when if the playing conditions are just right. But we do have some social members. I mean, again, sort of the lads, the Irish community, and again, girlfriends and family, and we sign people up.
As in every club, it's always the background people who like keep it going, and obviously your admin stuff and getting stuff out and social media and stuff and recruiting players as well.
Yeah. I mean, with us, the back room and the front room staff are very much one and the same. No. We have a couple of guys who are really good. I mean, our chairman is a non-playing member. Our secretary also non-playing, and they kind of help drive things forward, which is great. And again, like I say, the family support, that kind of thing. People turning up for matches and fundraising. We do get the support from outside the team.
Because I was telling Ed there before he came on about how I came across you, and it was that collecting the jerseys. So I seen them on Masita because I actually have a Croatia Celts jersey, but I was just
no.
This is amazing, isn't it? I was so shocked.
I was wearing it in Iceland last week, so it's not exactly clean enough for this week. But that's just where I seen you like.
You could have completely screwed with us by wearing it if you said that.
That was the thing I should have. But you were saying about the price of like the jerseys being sent over, but like how do you do with like the footballs and because obviously like cones and things like that they're like general with soccer and stuff, but what about like the goals and the footballs? They're obviously very expensive to get over as well.
I mean, the goals, we had a very DIY. It was 2 bungee ties and some piping.
Wow.
From what I can tell, we're not the only people that have resorted to that though. So I think we're fairly kind of on brand. The balls, we got a little batch of them sent over, didn't we?
We did. They're a little bit worse for wear now. When we were playing in Budapest the weekend, our balls were being rejected by the referee quite regularly when we tried to kick them in from the sideline. This ball's no good. Change it out for one of the good O'Neill's balls. But we every so often we either somebody goes back to Ireland and maybe comes back with a suitcase full of balls, or we get them shipped in. But we're overdue another order.
It's hard to keep a hold of the good O'Neill's footballs. They're the €60 ones, you know.
I think we have 2 at the moment. We have 6 or 7 Caracals. We have 2 O'Neills.
Yeah.
You want to make sure your club name is wrote all the way around them. That's the only way to keep them. But it's an unwritten rule in Ireland. Like if you start with like 20 footballs, you might dip down to 11 and might finish with 18, and you might have 9 that was your original footballs. Because every game you're always losing some and taking some of the other team.
Look, I mean, we don't have that problem because we don't get so many matches. It's I mean, joking aside, it's an issue for us. Like it's difficult to get people to commit to travel somewhere or to get another team to come down here. It's sort of it feels crazy, like how seems like a luxury almost that you could just have matches week in week out against people and.
And you were saying about matches you were away in Budapest at like the weekend. So what way would like your typical game go then? Obviously that's a flight or whatever. Like,
I mean, typically ends in defeat, but no. No, that was a drive up. It's not too bad. It's 3.5 hours. It's only our second away match. We played in the tournament in Bratislava last April, cool. May time. That was really cool. That was fantastic. We've had other teams come down to us as well. So I think we had Dutch teams come a few times. The guys from Prague as well. They were down our way. It's playing the matches is great because you up your game. You feel a lot more sort of committed to it, and it's you can see people kind of the training attendance begins to burgeon a bit towards a couple of weeks before the tournament, before matches and whatever. So it's the best part of it. It's nice doing your little training sessions, but the matches are the fun things.
Yeah, of course. The matches is what all the training is about. Isn't it? The training isn't actually the fun stuff. But you said like it's a 3.5 hour drive, so it was all in cars to head to the game. Yeah. Yeah,
I think we had 4 cars go down. Maybe some people went down on the Friday and stayed over. Some people went down on Saturday and stayed over. We kind of had a mixed taxi service going on, but it was a lot of Tetris before, trying to fit everyone into a car. You had the list of people and the list of spots. It was, but we made it in the end, even if some people were squeezed in the back of a tiny Peugeot 206 with their knees up against your chin. But we get it done, whatever it takes.
That sounds a lot like going to the games when in the late 90s, to be honest. That's the way we done it. All crowd in the back of a van going to an under 14s game. But 3.5 hours. There's a club team actually in Donegal, and theirs is 4 hours if they play away. One is up near the top of Donegal, I think, and one's down. I think it's the longest one, and the next longest one I think is Cork. Which?
It is. Yeah. Who do you know which clubs it is?
Oh, I can't remember. It was up online there a while ago because they're saying the longest one in Meath is only an hour and 10 from St. Bridget's to Ballinabaracky, and they were going around the country to see which was the longest ones. And I can't remember. I think is it where the McHughes play, or maybe Guido down to somewhere down in South Donegal now. I can't remember. But they're saying it's a 4 hour down and 4 hours back up. So. That's quite a long game.
It'd only be an hour if the road's really good up there, but you got to take the long way around.
And that's where you're originally from, up in Donegal, is it?
Yeah. That's where I grew up. My parents or my mum's from there originally, from near Letterkenny. That's my part of the world.
You didn't bring the accent with you anyway.
I did not. No. Too many years away. But if you put me in a room full of Donegal people, sure, I'd come back soon enough. But
Yeah, I have it here. It's what's it? Kilcar in Donegal to Malin. That's a 298-kilometer round trip, 4 hours and 30 minutes actually. If that makes you feel any better about your trips.
And when do you do that, on a Sunday, is it? Or what days do you do them kind of games?
This one was on a Saturday, so
mostly on the weekends, you kind of when you aren't working really, you kind of get to do them kind of things, is it?
I mean, you're as I'd said, our schedule, our games are few and far between. I think, when was the last time we played before this? It was in,
I think it was against the Dutch people in October.
okay, so
Yeah.
so
I mean, you
4
see
month
it's
playoff.
yeah.
Amazing.
It's Christmas, whatever. It was really freezing cold, so
What would be
it's not too
cold in
bad.
Croatia? What's a temperature that's cold for you guys over there now?
like -8, -9.
Oh, wow. So
Oh yeah, yes.
that is cold.
Yeah, you don't want to be going out playing then.
I was thinking like Croatia's warm, and I was thinking maybe 5 or 6.
No. Look, you get it with us where we try to sort of find an excuse for people not showing up for training.
Yeah.
And there's that sort of, okay, in the summer, everyone's cleared off to the seaside, or the students are away, or it's 35 degrees, whatever. And then in the winter, it's like, it's too cold. People can't, catch a chill and whatever.
Yeah.
It
And is there
difficult to find
no indoor facilities like sports halls and stuff that are around there?
Oh, very, very raw subject at the moment. Like we were saying, it's
Alright.
we've been playing inside for a bit, and we had a bit of sort of accidentally damaged a scoreboard in the place we were playing.
Yeah.
And it came out a lot more expensive than we think than you think a scoreboard would cost. But our club funds have been decimated, so to start the GoFundMe soon.
Yeah, you'll have to start doing the club lotto. Club needs the money.
Yeah, do lotto and bingo and stuff like that in the local bar.
Had a bake sale. We had a bake sale recently.
Brilliant.
So it was,
Excellent. That's
proper GA club.
Yeah, proper GA. That's what it is.
properly back to basics. Yeah.
Good stuff.
And do you have any kind of funny stories from people who have never played the GA before and coming for their first time on what they've done maybe in games or stuff like that? Kicking the ball the wrong way or anything, no?
Oh, Patrick.
I mean, I wouldn't even say people's first times, right? I mean, no, I mean, as I was saying before, we do have a bit of a problem in the club in terms of long-term experience, right? I mean, I'm the coach of the team, but I never played back home. I was a soccer player. That was always my game. So I don't think any of us knows all the rules yet. Some of us are better than others, but we went to this game in Budapest, and we had the kick-ins from the sideline and, hand passing them in or, whatever, right? It was the referee cut us a lot of slack, but
the referee was coaching us on like when you're allowed to pick up the ball, when you're not allowed to pick up the ball. And I mean, you can't blame us. Like, it is stuff where we're literally learning it fresh. You have these guys who, I mean, most of the people we're playing against are students. So they're 19 to 25-year-olds. I think all of us are older than that. And none of us have been playing it for more than, 3.5 years or so. And just like, we don't have the basic skills. Like, you're trying your hardest. I mean, you've got guys that say have played Aussie rules before, and clearly they're miles ahead of other people, or Patrick just with his football skills or whatever. But it's difficult when you come up against people like that, where they've, they could even just be bad by Irish levels. I don't know. But against us, they're just sort of streets ahead just because you've got it in your veins. And
where do you get your inspiration from then? Do you like during training, would you sit down and watch a match on a Saturday night or something like that and go, oh, look what they're doing, or learn from watching a couple of games, or like who's the veteran that would go, this is the rule, or like, no, this is not how you do it, or this is how you do it, and stuff like that?
Patrick's in his little coaches group on WhatsApp.
Right. So would you sit down and watch a couple of games there on a Monday to Friday?
I'm trying to instill my own philosophy here. I'm trying to take GAA the Ajax way, the Barcelona way. That's my dream.
The Jim McGuinness way.
Get to know each individual personality of a player, and who's the Messi of GAA, Bertie? Like, who would?
Clifford.
Clifford.
Yeah, down in Kerry.
So we'll have to watch him then. Watch what he does.
You were I don't know whether the game on Sunday was as tight as was it 2-4 to 2-7, but you said it was a lucky goal for Budapest at the end that won it, was it? I'm only going off your Instagram now, so
No, it was.
We're big fans. We're big fans.
I think if we're being total disclosure, they probably weren't going in at 100% against us. They were, pretty chilled out. I think their goalkeeper was wearing jeans for the match, for instance. So, I mean, let's be really fair, but we kept ourselves in it, and
Perfect.
we were probably giving it our full. But yeah, I think we even got 5, not 4, as well. So it's a bit of dodgy counting there. It was their guy refereeing it, but
you need the old Hawkeye, you see, to tell you whether it's over or not.
Look, it came down to the final kick. We could have drawn it, but that's what it is. I mean, I think we'd have been very, very lucky to get a draw out of that match, but we didn't shame ourselves by any means. Not at all. Not at all.
And what's the plans then, the summer or the few months going forward then, with what championships or what leagues are there for you to be able to get games in? Like
Huge plans. So we kind of preliminary signed up for going to a tournament in Hungary, in Poland. And then it's like just the all around this way. So was it Munich, Vienna, Bratislava, possibly one other place. Can't think.
And are they all weekend tournaments going away, or are they all like single games to go to?
No, it's proper like little tournaments. So you've got depends on how many teams sign up. And one where we did it before, say we were put into a joint team with a club from Rome, for instance. But they did it where it was, you play your first round, the top 2 go forward, the bottom one goes down into the Shield tournament, and there's 2 groups that was very suspicious in Bratislava. So, okay, we were put in a group with Prague and Bratislava. Czechs and Slovaks pretty much go together, and we were obviously the weaker team. Like that seemed a bit of a fix. So we got quite decimated in those matches. We played in the Shield afterwards though, and we managed to win it. So you need to find your level, I guess. And our level isn't like 18-year-old students from Ireland, but you find some guys that are more our level, and I think we're not terrible. We're not terrible. We're just not so organized all the time, let's say.
And then we actually have to start wrapping up if that's all right, which is but just on one of the questions about like, is the lure of GA because it is like an amateur organization and it feels like more inclusive? Do you think like it's easier to set up? Like, why didn't you set up like maybe tag rugby, or why didn't you set up like a 5-a-side soccer tournament or things like that?
I think that for me at least, the people that you get who are willing to try out playing GAA in a foreign country are genuinely interesting people, right? They're people with a kind of open mind, so you don't kind of get the same boring people coming through. Always, everyone's bringing something interesting to the table. Like I was saying, we have one guy from Australia who was a street performer for 20 years, traveling all over Europe. We've got another guy who played semi-professional Australian rules. We have a guy who's played international bridge for Croatia. Like it's a real.
We've got a guy that made up his own sport. He made up another ball game.
One of the guys.
Cities in Croatia.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, a great Meath footballer and current Meath lads manager, Colin O'Rourke, was on a chat show over the weekend, and he says that Meath are losing a lot of characters, and even the GA, but it sounds like there's a lot of characters playing GA in Croatia, to be fair.
Yeah. No, it's absolutely amazing story. Like when Bertie told me it was absolutely brilliant what you guys are doing. It's obviously that's what Irish sport's all about. Like it's spreading across the world, and you guys are keeping it alive over there. It's amazing to see.
And in case our listenership takes up in Croatia over the next couple of weeks, where and when would people go to join? When's training?
Well, first thing I'd say is follow us on Instagram, because Ed keeps those social media posts up to date with our training sessions. But we have a pitch quite central in Zagreb. We train 3 times a week, usually Mondays, Thursdays, Saturdays. So yeah, if anyone's in town, they're always welcome to come along.
Amazing.
If anyone wants to send a team over, Croatia is a lovely holiday destination.
Yeah.
We'll take on
Gladly.
We'll put the word
comers.
out. We'll put the word out.
And have you included any? Is it all like you a lads team? Have you hurling? Have you camogie? Have you ladies football? Or is that the plans down the line?
So we had, it's very much football focused at the moment. We had a few guys who were more in for the hurling stuff, but it's difficult enough to get enough guys out on the pitch to play football. Hurling, I think that was a step too far. That's one for down the line. Once our numbers are a bit more solidified, once you know you've got a core of like 30 odd people, I think then we definitely could revisit it. At the moment, we don't have a dedicated girls team, but we've had girls play with us. I mean, we have one in Budapest with we have a girl. No, it's awkward now. No, but no, if whenever girls are there, they can play with us as well. So it's we don't have enough to make a full team, but it's very much inclusive at the moment.
inclusive.
So if any club in Ireland wants a weekend in Croatia, you're
boys team, girls team, whatever. Yeah,
Croatia Celts are going to take over Croatia.
They might put you up for the night as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe show you some of the good pubs.
Sheridan's on Savska Street. That's where you need to go. That's the club headquarters. So
Brilliant.
The headquarters GA in
Alright.
Croatia.
Keep note of that.
That's great, lads. Thanks so much for coming on because, as I said, we were doing the segments. We had a Cardiff referee on not so long ago. He's in college in Edinburgh, and he found GA as well. And we've talked to a number of people over the last while as well, just to try and get just a nice little segment just on our show. Because I don't know if you've followed us on Instagram or seen what we do. We usually just kind of have a topic and we kind of waffle on about it. It's the nature of it. But we thought it was a nice little thing just to kind of spread on the GA community worldwide and to show people, no matter where you are in the world, that you can find people who are interested in GA. And like that, it's great for people from other countries kind of taking on board as well. And hopefully they might come to Ireland someday and watch a game as well, which would be important.
Thank you so much for inviting us. It was super unexpected, but very, very cool.
Pleasure to have you on.
thanks, guys.
Thanks, lads. It's brilliant.
Right, go on. You've got something there, do you?
Yeah, you probably know this already, but do you think that oranges are called oranges because they're orange, or is the colour orange called orange because oranges are orange?
Oh my God.
So the colour orange didn't exist in the English language until the late 15th century, when the first oranges began to appear in England. England, of course, is the source of all great things. There are many things before this that would undeniably be called orange, but there wasn't a name for it. So when there was things that was orange coloured, they were called like yellow saffron, if they were like, you know, slightly. And
Yellow
if
saffron, man.
more
Yeah,
a red
works.
tinge, they called them yellow red. So you'd say, oh, there's a yellow red thing, rather
Yellow
than
red,
orange
man.
thing.
The JB Waffle